Hey everybody, it's Sarah with Loaves and Dishes, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make creme brulees. So the first thing that you're going to do is add 2 cups of cream, 2/3 cups of sugar, and a pinch of salt into a saucepan and bring it to a light boil. If you have a vanilla bean, you can add that here too. Just make sure to stir constantly. You just want to make sure that you're mixing it, and you want to make sure that it doesn't burn. Now, this recipe, it's not very many ingredients. It's just there's a few more steps than recipes that we have done on this YouTube channel in the past. But it is not, because it doesn't have that many ingredients and it just has a few more steps, it's really not that difficult to make a delicious creme brulee. The only thing is that it does require a few special tools that some people might not have in their kitchen. One is it requires ramekins, which are little dishes that have straight up and down sides. It's like a bowl. They're usually between 4 and 8 ounces in size. I have some. I got them at Target. They were super inexpensive. I think they were like $4 a piece, and I bought 4. So once you kind of have that warmed up and it's come to a light boil, then you're going to remove it from the heat and you're going to let it steep like tea. You want to let it just cool down a little bit, and you let it steep for about 15 minutes. So while that is steeping, you're going to get your ramekins ready. Some tips and tricks for this: when you cook creme brulees, you have to cook them in what's called a water bath. So you need a pan that has higher sides. We're just using a roasting pan. You could use a casserole dish. You could use, if you had a frying pan that had that had higher sides, you could use that, just so long as your ramekins fit inside and it will hold some water. So you can put a towel on the bottom of your pan so that if you're concerned about those little ramekins breaking or anything, you can put a towel in the bottom of your pan. So now in 2 bowls, you're going to separate your eggs. You're going to need 12 eggs, and you're going to separate the whites from the yolks. You're only going to use the yolks. You're not going to use the whites, so you can put those in the fridge and save them for, you can make, egg whites, or, whatever you do with egg whites. You can make a meringue. Anyways, but you don't need the egg whites. When I made creme brulees, I cooked the egg whites for my dogs. They got a special treat when I was making creme brulees. So, and you can just use the shells to separate the eggs, or you could just use your hand. You just crack an egg and let it fall through your hand and kind of hold the yolk with your fingers. Anyways, there's multiple ways to separate eggs. The other cool thing about eggs is that if you ever get eggshell in whatever it is that you're doing, and I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes it's hard to fish an eggshell out. You can actually use the other half of the eggshell because they're kind of like magnetized to each other. So that's a fun tip and trick. Okay, so then you're going to whisk your egg yolks. Now, if you don't have vanilla bean, like we did in the first step, you would whisk your egg yolks and add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract to your egg yolks, okay? Then you're going to take your cream mixture and you're going to add 2 more cups of heavy cream to your cream mixture. Just cold heavy cream, doesn't need to be warm. And then you're going to do what's called tempering your egg yolks, which is where you're going to take a little bit of the mixture that you've warmed up and you're going to add just a little bit to your eggs, and you're going to make sure you stir it really well when you do that. This will warm the egg yolks up without cooking them. Obviously, there will be some little tiny bits that get cooked, but we will fix that problem in just a minute. But you want to make sure that you do this really well and that you do it slowly. And if that way you're not cooking your egg yolks, because you don't want scrambled eggs in your creme brulee. And the egg yolks are what is going to thicken it and make it like a pudding consistency after it's baked. So once you've tempered your egg yolks, then you can add the rest of your egg yolk mixture to the cream mixture so that everything's together. Now, this is super, super important. This is the other special tool you're going to need, and it's a fine mesh strainer. These are really inexpensive. If you had if you have cheesecloth or something like that, that will work too. So you want to get a bowl, and you want to put your strainer on it, and you want to strain your cream mixture twice. This will get out sometimes, like for instance, we're using eggs that came from my mom's chickens. So sometimes there's little imperfections in the eggs because they're from, backyard chickens. And we're straining out the vanilla bean, like the actual vanilla bean pod. Or if you, maybe you got a little piece of eggshell in your egg yolks and you didn't realize it, this will get it out. And you want to strain it twice just so that it's super, super smooth. I would say that this is probably the most important step, is straining your mixture 2 times at least. You could even, if you wanted to get real wild, you could do it 3 or 4 times too. Just, you could go crazy with straining it. It's not going to hurt it. Okay, so once you have strained your mixture 2 times, then it is time to put your mixture in your ramekins. So we just poured ours in a glass in a measuring cup so that it had a spout. And then you just want to make sure you pour your mixture in the ramekins. They don't need to be oiled or anything like that. You just want to make sure they're all pretty even, and then you pop those in the oven. And you're going to take some warm water and pour in water in your pan. This is called a water bath. You want to be super careful with this because you don't want water to splash into your creme brulee mixture, okay? And you just want to pour in enough water until it comes about halfway up the ramekin. This keeps the creme brulees from drying out and cracking and getting gross on top. So this is a very important step. Then you're going to bake at 300 degrees for about 30 to 35 minutes until the internal temperature comes to between 170 and 175. You're going to take them out of the oven, put them on a rack to cool, and when they get cooled, you can add raw sugar, and this is the fun part, you get to take a torch and blowtorch the top. But that's it. It looks really difficult, but you can totally do it, and it is not as hard as it seems. If you want to find more recipes like these, check out Loaves and Dishes. You can listen to our podcast. It's called Dorks with Sporks, and you can find that wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.